Close your eyes, make a wish as we sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Close your eyes and make a wish as we sing happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, June celebrants. We are wishing you many more exceedingly great years to come, celebrating an outstanding style with lots of love and thanksgiving for your new age. From your friend, Crafters TV. Hello and good day to you. Today's video, we'll be baking 3-layered coffee and walnut cake to celebrate birthdays in June 2021. This is our lockdown cake to celebrate birthdays in June 2021. To celebrate with celebrants, people who are born in June. To celebrate with them as we are in lockdown. We just want to celebrate with everyone whose birthday is in June 2021. So to make our cake, we need equipment. And I'll start with the equipment and I'll end with the ingredients, because when we start baking, we'll need the ingredients first. So we need a sieve to sieve our flour. We need spatula to take the mixture out of the baking pan, and we need angled palette knife, or you can use a straight one, to smoothen the cake mixture, and also when we are doing our buttercream, to smoothen our buttercream or to apply our buttercream in the cake, our coffee buttercream. We need a scale to weigh and measure our ingredients so that they are correctly placed. We need a tablespoon to measure the coffee, knife just to split our butter. We need a cup to mix the coffee, to make the coffee mixture. We need a teaspoon to measure baking powder. We need a baking pan, and I'll be using this baking pan 3 times. Why is because we want to make 3, as I said earlier, we're making 3 different color 3-layer cake, and they're going to be of different color. One is the coffee is going to still be coffee, but one is going to be dark, the other is going to be mild brown, and the other one is going to be very light, because we're going to use cream or the milk to make the color lighter. We need oven, and we need a mixer, and if you see, I'm using the beater as the hook for the mixer for the mixing units. So let's start. Okay, before then we need okay, we also need a kettle to boil hot water. We need hot water, just about 3 tablespoons of hot water. So we need evaporated milk. We need butter. This time I'm using only unsalted. I will mix. I have half unsalted here, which I'll mix when we're doing the butter icing. I'll use the unsalted for the butter icing. So you need, if it's optional. I just like mixing my sugar now together. Okay, then you need baking powder. We need eggs. I'll be using 4 fresh eggs. We need sugar. You can use white, you can use soft brown, you can use brown, you can use, but I'll be using Demerara because my brown have very little So I'll just go with the one that is enough so that I don't have to mix and confuse anyone. We're using self-raising flour. Although we're using self-raising flour, we're still going to add a little baking powder. That's because we're going to add a little bit of water to our mixture and to make the coffee. So we don't need anything to make our cake dense. And walnut, you will need walnut. If you want to, you can crush the walnut and mix in your cake and leave some parts for decorating. Okay, I can crush them. I can crush a little in the cake. I'll use some for decorating too. So I'll crush a little and I'll use some for decorating. But they're going to be large lumps. Okay, I can use a rolling pin to do that. Alright, we'll need icing sugar and butter to make that's for the filling. To merge the 3 layers together, we need our buttercream or coffee buttercream. So let's start. I'm going to measure the sugar first. We'll make the light one first, the light mixture with this. Then we can make it darker. So I'll make light mixture first, bake it, and then make the other one. Or we can make any one first, and we need to add milk to make it lighter. So I think I'll make the dark one first. Then we can add milk to make it lighter because it's almost the same. Sometimes you may need to mix 2 or 3 times because maybe your bowl is too small, but that's no problem. So I'll take and set my unit. So I mix the butter and the sugar together. Okay, I need to set the unit quickly. I'm just trying to turn the batteries. So I'll make the sugar. I'm just going to use about 200 grams of sugar. Well, let me make it 300. This is 3 different cake, and I'm going to. Okay, that's 300 grams of Demerara sugar. I'll just put that in the mixer. And we use unsalted butter. I'll just cut it in half. There's no need to. Cut it in half. I'll use half. That's 125 grams of unsalted butter. Oh, I didn't know it was not. Okay, so I've put in the sugar and the butter together. I'm going to set it to start mixing. While it's mixing, just need to put this aside. While it's mixing, I'll so that my voice is not drained, I'm going to open the coffee. I'll take 3 heaped spoons. Well, I think this cup is going to be too small now. Okay, that's fine. We'll try 3 heaped spoons to see if it's going to be too dark or too light. This mixture that I just made now is going to be for about I think, let's see if we go for 2 cakes, because normally it's supposed to go for 3. Let me make the 3, then we start mixing in between. So I'm still contemplating which one should I do first, the light first, the mint brown first. Okay, all right, so we'll leave the 3. We use 3. Normally we still use 3 heaped. So even if it's light, we'll mix it with milk, and because we need that flavor, we need a strong flavor, that coffee flavor. All right, so with so I'm going to put hot water. And I'll stir to make sure it dilutes and it's very thick. So we'll keep this our bowl to make. Oh, I think before I came back, the water is already cold. Super hot. Let me just. Since before I finished talking, it's not that hot anymore. So I'm just going to. So I'll leave that aside and we'll start sieving our flour. Separating flour. well. That's first because of my bowl, mixing bowl, I want to mix it little by little. So the first two sets I'll mix is I'll mix the light one the next. So I'll make this first one is going to be for 2 cakes, and I'm going to make it 700. That means I have to mix for mine. Sometimes I'm able to make the 3 like that. I'm able to make the 3. Let me just. So the flour is 800. I'm just going to add 1 spoon of baking powder to it. Heaped spoon, 1 teaspoon. I'm gonna heap it. I'm going to heap 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Because I have already added I've decided to just make the full cake, and anyone remainder I can make a little one over it, because I don't know how many is going to. I've not made 3-layer cake with that pan before, so I'm going to add more unsalted butter. So it's almost so I'm going to add half of this other one. Because we are going to add more flour. So that's so we added about 62.5. That's half of the 125 butter. You know, we added 125. That's half of 250. Then we are adding again half of the remaining half. That's half of the 125. So approximately, we just add the total butter we've used now is 187.5. Or we can just approximate to 188. So I'm going to allow it to mix. Since I've added new butter, I'm just going to allow it to mix. I'm going to add a little bit of flour, a little flour. Flour and baking powder mixed together. Just going to add a little. So I'll add the other flour, but while I'm adding the coffee last is because we are doing 3 parts. We'll start with the light one, and then we'll go into them. We can add as much as we want for the darker color. So we'll make our cake first, because it's not just one, it's 3-layer cake, and we don't want to mix 3 times. So I'm going to now add the remaining flour. It's 800 grams of flour. And at a slow speed, I'm going to allow it to mix. You can add them a little at a time, so I just have added them a little at a time. So if you notice it's getting too hard for the machine, I'm going to, if you see it's getting too hard, our mixture is getting, if you see our mixture is getting too hard, so I'm going to add a little milk. Just to lighten it. Although the milk is, the can of the milk is 410 grams, we've only used a little, almost half, not just a little, it's almost half, just to lighten our mixture. So the mixture is alright, we can go with this mixture. So now I'm going to add the coffee. Going to and get it clean. White meat after and get the other part of it. Mixing with the baking pan with unsalted butter. Just going to put a little unsalted butter. I'll dust a little flour over it so that my cake can come out clean. So I'll just put a little flour. I'm just going to dust it so that my cake can come out clean. And I'll tap the excess away. One part is mixing some flour, so I've got to put it, mixing some butter, I'll be set on it. So we have our pan. We have our pan done. So I'm just going to stir to make sure it mixes properly. Still have some parts showing very light. Need to turn the one. Okay, so that's all right. I'll put this is the first layer. I'll put that. You see, it's a bit light brown. I'll make the other a bit dark. Then, if we want to, we can with this brown now. You can go either go darker or go lighter by adding. So just let me see. Let me make sure that no one is dripping. So bake the first one, and with that we'll know if we're going to go lighter. This is going to be the mid color, or it be the first sorry, this is going to be the mid color, or it can be the first color. It all depends on the intensity when we finish baking. So I'm just going to scoop. And I need to clear all this off. Oh, I forgot. Okay. I'm just going to put the oven on. I forgot that. Sorry. It's gonna be fast. I'll leave it at 150 degrees. Gas mark 2, 100 and can't remember the Fahrenheit now, but I'll put it when I'll put it in the description. Okay, so 307 or 360 or so. I can't remember it now, but 150 degrees Celsius, gas mark 2, and the Fahrenheit. For now, I can't remember. So I'm just going to scoop. Just not too much, because we have this has to give us 3. Will it be able to give us 3? Going to put on, and I'm just going to spread this one. It's not going to be a large cake. It's going to be, wow, it's still going to be large. So I'm just going to spread it. Oh, sorry, let me see. So I've crushed some of the walnut. I will add it to the remaining ones here. I'll add it to the remaining ones. This one will be there. I'll leave it. I think the last one, I'll add it to the last one. And yes, I'll add to the last one the very brown. No, I'll add it to the, which one will I add it? Okay. So I have some walnut here, some crushed walnuts. And I'll add it to the remaining mixture. I forgot to add it to this, and I'll just leave it like that. So I'll add it to perhaps the lighter one. I'll add it to the lighter one, yes, when I mix it with milk, to make the mixture lighter and enough, because the mixture is not really, it's not that enough. Still, it's too small. Let me show you. That's the one we have for 2 more. So I'll add the chopped walnuts to the mixture with white, while I make the bottom one very dark and dense. So I've already leveled it. We are going to bake this in the oven until the skewer comes out clean. So when that has finished baking, we'll mix this other one. We'll add we'll have to split it. We'll make the one in the bowl. When the other one is ready, we'll come back and we'll mix this one. We'll split it in half. We'll add milk to one half to make it very light, and the mixture a bit lighter so that it can be enough, and we'll add one to that part. Then the other part will make it very dark. We'll make that part very dark. We'll add more coffee to it to make it darker, so that we'll have the 3-layer, the color intensity that we desire to have, the monochrome brown we desire to have, so that we have the monochrome brown we desire. So our cake is ready. I've already placed it on a cooling rack. I've removed it and I've placed it on a cooling rack. We're going to do the second one now. And I've greased the pan. I've prepared the pan, the same pan. So to do this other one, what I'm going to do is to my mixture. I'm just going to put a little of the mixture in there, in this mix it with this nuts. What I'm going to do now, mix it just okay, I'm just going to place the nuts in a bowl. I'm going to put a mixture in here because I need to make this one light. I'm going to put more than half of the mixture. I'm just going to split it. And to put half. This one will be for the dark cake. So this other one now, this smaller one we have, I'm going to put it back. I'm going to use it to mix. I'll put this one to one side. So I'm going to use the remaining milk. I'm going to mix it. So I'm going to make sure. I'll put the nut in so that it mixes with the nut, and I'll add the milk. Just going to scrape the other from the side of the bowl and mix them thoroughly. I didn't add too much of the milk. I just added a little just to make sure just to help me mix the. It's optional, you can decide not to add. So I'm just going to. Add a little of the milk because I want it lighter. So add the remainder milk all together. So the milk is finished. We have our mixture ready. Put this one. Just going to take our mixture. Put this one here in case of any drips. So this our mixture with the nut. I'm going to allow it to bake the same temperature. Put it in the oven to bake. The last one, that's the last mixture, we're going to make it darker, so we'll add more coffee to it to make it darker, and then we'll bake. So let's bake this one first, then we'll mix for that one. We'll add more coffee to it. So I'll just bring my bowl back. And I'm just going to scoop the mixture back into this bowl so that you can still mix it in this bowl if you want to, but since I'm using the mixer, I want the mixer to do the job. I'm going to put it back into the bowl, and the mixer and I'll use the mixer to mix it, because I want to make the color, the mixture darker in color. I want to add more coffee to it. This one's not going to have nuts, but it's going to have the coffee. Is going to be darker. So I'll put that in the mixing unit. And get another spoon, so that I'll use that for clean spoon for my coffee. So this time I'll put 3. I'll put the same 3, but this time to be for that little one. And get the hot water. So put 3 tablespoons of hot water, just like how we mixed for the first one. So I'm just going to add boiling water. So here we have the boiling water. I'm just going to mix it, and allow it to cool. As we stir it, it's going to cool faster. Okay, it's almost cold now. Good, it's cold. So what I'll do, set the machine, we can pour it in, and then we set the machine to start to pour it in. Just going to before I pour things, everybody just going to and I'll just mix it. So now this set is going to be dark. One has not, well, don't have not, and one is dark. I'm going to use my spatula to do some cleaning. That's one good thing about the spatula. You can use it to clean. Now just going to try and tidy it in stuff. Just want to clean before it gets dried and becomes difficult to clean. We're just going to stir to make sure remember that the darker your coffee cake is, the it's not going to be that though. Remember that the darker the coffee cake is, the more you add coffee to it, it's not going to be sweet because you are not adding sugar along with it. So you may end up with a bitter cake. So if you want to make it sweet, you can add a little sugar to it to just stir it in, or just depend on the buttercream that you're going to use to mix the cake. So for this one is a bit bitter, so I'm going to depend on the buttercream that I'll put in between the layers. That's going to help to make the cake on the sweet part, on the sweet side. So I'm going to leave that. So you can see I've done these are the two that we just did. This is the one with the nuts, and this is the one without the nut. This is the first one, and this is the second one we did. Just put it up for it to cool, and we have this. Although it's almost the same color, despite the milk we added, but the nuts will differentiate it. So we'll put this one aside. I wanted it to be a bit darker. So now I'm just going to sprinkle a little flour. There's the third one. You don't need to wash your pan. Sorry, I didn't state that. You don't need to wash your pan. All you need to do is just allow the pan to cool, and but if you want to wash it, and you can. But I have not washed my things. I just remove it because it came out clean, and I just rub the butter on it, and then we have just tap off the excess, and then we have this. So the next step is to remove the other one. Now we can put this one. This one is going to be, it's not going to be sweet like the other ones. That's because we added another set of coffee, so that is darker in color. Just going to Clear properly. Just going to smoothen it and make sure I don't have much leftover, any leftover. Just smoothen it and make sure it's well leveled. Leftover. Okay, so here we have it. I'm just going to bake it. I'm smoothing it. Try to smoothen it too. So I'm just going to bake this one. And so bake that one for the same. Just check until it comes out clean, the skewer comes out clean, then we know that it is ready, and we'll allow them to cool. Then the next step is to make our buttercream, and we layer them, decorate with the buttercream and the walnuts. It's time for us to ice our cake. We have 3 layers of cake there. The upper layer is the one with the nuts, the coffee and walnut cake. This one has crushed nuts in it. The middle layer is just light brown in color, while the top layer, that bottom layer, we added more coffee to it to make it darker, to make the color darker. So we have our cake already here. I've just placed it on a dolly, and the dolly has been placed on a stand. On a cake stand, I'll just put that aside while I start so that I can show all the ingredients we need for the decoration. We need icing sugar. We need walnuts. So we need icing sugar, powdered icing sugar. We need walnuts. You can crush, you can make them whole, but we're going to leave them whole as it is. If you decide to add a little flavor to the buttercream, then you can add a little bit of coffee to it. You dilute the coffee and then add to it. And we have a small cup here if we decide to make a mixed coffee. We have our butter, we have unsalted and a little bit of salted and unsalted. It's unsalted and this is unsalted. Sorry, it's turned upside down. Okay, just a little bit if you want to mix them. Then we have our scale. If you want to weigh, or if you don't want that, if you don't want to use your instinct gauge, we have our sieve to sieve the icing sugar. We have our mixing bowl, which is for our mixer over there, our electric mixer, and we'll be using the beater hook for it to mix it. Then we need our spatula to just scoop our mixture out. We need a palette knife. You can use, for the palette knife, you can use an angled one or you can use a flat one, a straight one. So depend on any one you want to use. We'll just use one. You just need only one. Depend on how wide your cake is. Let me see. Okay, the answer will be able to go over it. You need your spoon if you want to if you want to add coffee to it, just to serve some coffee. And you need warm water, hot water, boiling water, just to dilute the coffee powder. Then you need, if you want to cut your cake to shape, you will need a bread knife, or you will need a cake leveler, which will help you to trim your cake. If you're using a very large cake and you want to trim it into, you can use a cake leveler to put it into layers. So for that, we're not using that because I'm not going to trim. What I'm going to add next is so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the coffee. I'm not going to leave coffee in the buttercream. I might be able to do a little. Let me just put a little. We have too much coffee in it. Let me just omit that in the buttercream. Okay, so in the buttercream I'll not put coffee this time around. Should I not? Should I? A little, just a little. It's going to make it too brown. I don't want it too brown. Okay. All right. So I'll go without the coffee for the buttercream. I'll just leave that aside. But if you want to add coffee to yours, if you want to make everything brown, that's fine. You can put that. You can put coffee. So I'll take this one away because we don't need them anymore. So I'm going to sieve the icing sugar now. See how many grams we can get from this. icing sugar don't put a lot of dust. So if you have asthma or something, it's good to protect your nose, because when you're sieving it, it has a lot. It brings out a lot of dust. So powder, which acts as dust, and it can ignite anything. So what you can do also, if you are not putting on a mask to protect your nose, you can also use, you can do like what I'm doing. Just use spoon or spatula or so to just grind it through. You don't need to sieve, you don't need to shake the sieve, because once you shake the sieve, the powder becomes powdery and the air becomes dusty, and you don't want that. So you can just do what I'm doing. Even if you don't have any medical condition, that respiratory condition, or that you're allergic to dusty things, you can also do this. If you don't, I don't like breathing it in, so I just prefer doing this. Sometimes you can just tap on the side and it will drop, but it will still bring a lot of it will still be dusty a bit, but not too much like when you. One of the best way is just grinding it through the sieve, like so. So that's 200, and I'm not going to put too much sugar. I'm going to make it, let's just make it 300. I think that should be enough for it. Don't know what happened to my scale. I have to change. I have to. Let me finish. So my scale just went off. What I'm going to do now is to put the icing into the bowl quickly, and so I'm going to pour the icing sugar back in here. That's 313. Okay, we'll just make good use of that. We use 313 grams. That's going to be enough. I don't want too much sugar. So measure the butter Let me set the scale. This is salted. It weighs let me see, 131 grams. So I'm just going to take a little from it and I'll subtract. So 131. So that's the butter. This is salted. I'm just going to place it. It weighs 131. And I'm just going to take this little from it. And so 81 is left. Let me see. 131 minus 81. That is 50. So I took 50 grams. And I'm going to bring the unsalted. Unsalted weighs one. So for the salted we took 50 grams. And for the unsalted we're just going to take a little. The unsalted weighs 114 grams. So I'm just going to take a little from it. Oh, I've forgotten. I think 118 just now. Okay. Minus 91, 27. So we took 27. So 27 plus 15. We're going to use this to So we're going to now go to our mixer and let the mixer mix that for us. If we need to add, we add, but it's good you add it little by little to see if you have the consistency that you desire. We're just going to increase it. So we have 77 grams of butter there. That's not enough. If you take a look at it, you see that it's a bit dry. What I'm going to do now is to add about 13. So yes, mine now. So it's adding little. Let me see. That's 68. That's about 23 grams I just added. Let's see. So here we have our buttercream. Just going to serve this, sliding up. Okay. And it's not quite much because I don't want it to be much. I just want something little, and it's a bit thick. So if you want to, some people do add a little bit of evaporated milk to make it lighter. Some people add more butter instead to make it lighter. It just depends on your preference, and also it depends on how you're going to preserve, how long you're going to preserve the cake. So if you're going to preserve it for too long, why don't you just use just butter and sugar? Because you know, milk, when it's been exposed, it starts getting spoiled from that time. So that makes the cake not to last long. If it's if it's not in the freezer, it can't last that long. So you have to think about that when you're trying to use other things to lighten the icing sugar. You can also add lime juice if you want to. A little lime juice. So for us, we will just as usual, we'll just add a little butter. Even if I'm going to eat it just now. I don't have any milk anymore, so we can. So 68 grams, and let me see what I can do. So we have 68 grams for the butter. I'm just going to take some from it, and we'll put those ones so that it lightens it. We don't want it too light, but we don't want it too thick too. You can see that butter is soft. Okay, so that's 32 left. Let me just add more so that we don't come back. So that's 27 left. Let me. So we've added 41 grams again. So going to let that mix. So now we have a kind of, not pouring, but we have, the consistency is light. It's very light and fluffy. You can see it's forming peaks. So it's forming peaks. That means it's not that hard. And you can see it. I'll just put it on there and you can see how. Okay, so that's good for a spread. It will make it faster because we just want to make a light spread over it. And we've used butter to make it instead of milk, because although we're going to eat it soon, immediately, we still need to think about preservation, because what if we don't finish it today? That means I have to put it in the freezer also to keep, because of the milk, the evaporated milk we use. If you want to use evaporated milk to mix the icing sugar. Alright, so let me clean the surface. So here's our cake. If you want to, you can trim it. I'm tempted to trim it. So let me just trim it. I'll place it on, you need to place it on a flat surface to trim. So I'll just place it and put the plate to the side. So that I'm tempted, although I didn't want to cream it, but I just want it to be cool. Switch this off, take the wire off the way so that I don't mistakenly clip it with my knife. Never can tell. So just I'm not going to trim the top. Okay. Let's see. The sewing motion to help. Okay. So I've just trimmed it all around. Okay, I like this one. Let me do it. So I'm just going to I'll just turn it and use a comfortable position. Sorry if you are not seeing. Okay. So here we go. I've trimmed it. If you want to see, trim the top so that you can put that the upper part so that you can put the buttercream, you can do that, but I'm not going to go through that stress now. I don't want my I want some part of my cake. I'm going to take a new dolly. Just want to take a new dolly. Okay. Oh, I took two. So here we have, I'm going to put this one down and place them on top. So that I work, I'll place them there. Now let's come in with our buttercream. And you can see over here, it's fluffy. Okay. So I'm going to use a spatula. I'll just put a general, I won't use too much. And with the angled palette knife, I said palette, sorry. With the angled palette knife, just going to it didn't dust the crumbs off. No, it's too late to dust it. So I have to use this. I'm going to put this up. Good. Just need little. And okay, that's the middle layer. I'm going to place the middle layer on top. That's enough for me. For you, you can do what, if you desire to put some sprinkles of nuts, you can do that. But for me, since I'm the one eating it, I'll do it to my taste. Because I don't want to be in what I've made. So I'm going to just do it to my taste. If you are doing it for a customer, then do it to the customer's taste. So we need a little, don't finish it. Remember, we have one more. So our lockdown cake is taking shape. And this is the third one. Okay, let's get some. This upper one is the one with the nuts. So I'm going to use nuts to decorate it later after we finish. The nice thing about the crumbs is that it's going to act. It's going to act like since it's a coffee cake, it will add beauty to it. Now, since I'm running out of icing and I don't want to use more, so I'm going to make sure I use this, and I make sure this one is enough. icing is finished. Let me put here. Okay, we've done one side and the other side, and the icing is finished, so I'll just leave it like that. I didn't really want much icing, that's why I had to mix a little, but I didn't know it was going to stop halfway. So I just clear the table, clean everywhere, and then we'll come for our birthday song. So here's our cake, and I'll just put some of the walnut pieces on top. The walnut part. And crush it, but I'll just This cake makes a lovely tea time cake. Not too much sugar over it, just something light.
Close your eyes, make a wish as we sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Close your eyes and make a wish as we sing happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, June celebrant. We are wishing you many more exceedingly great years to come. Celebrating an outstanding time with lots of love and thanksgiving for your new age. From your friend, Crafters TV. Thank you for joining me for this video of baking and icing a coffee and walnut cake to celebrate June birthdays during the lockdown in 2021. Until next time, happy celebration. Bye for now. Thank you.